Welcome to Chop Shop Motors. My name is Clay, and love to kind of touch bases with everyone. I haven't done a video for a couple weeks probably. If we had a little issue and lost a bunch of videos, so we've kind of been trying to regroup, and so it's time to move forward and talk about what the next project is. So the 30-day truck build, the 55 F100, is up and driving, and it's done for what that project was going to be. I've been tinkering with it a little bit, but I haven't filmed any of it. It's got, you know, some of those other necessities of life, like park lights and headlights, and the gauges working, and gas gauge that works, and some of that kind of stuff. And it's still a motley looking truck, but it's fun to tinker with a little bit. So that project's kind of off and finished up and wrapped up, so that's awesome. Now comes the next big project, which I'm gonna do a big push on it to try to get it a bunch of progress made on it is just as fast as I can, and that is going to be the 72 Ford F100. So this is my kiddo's truck. This is Shelby's truck. This truck, we built it probably, I don't know, when she was in high school, so I don't know, 10 years ago at least, if not a little longer, and she drove it every day, and it was just getting tired. So it's been sitting here next to the shed waiting for its turn, and its turn is here. I got Shelby a bunch of motor parts and dress-up pieces for the engine compartment and stuff for Christmas last year, and it's taken that long to get so that it's time to work on it. But that may be the way it is, and that probably sucks, but we're moving now, and it's next on the list. And so I'm going to give you a little walk around on the truck and show you kind of what I did today just to prep for moving it and tearing it apart. So super excited. The plan for it is I'm gonna pull the motor out of it, freshen up the motor. I'm gonna freshen up the transmission. I've got rear end to put in it. I'm gonna lower it, put a set of beams on the front and a flip kit on the rear. I've got a steering box for it, and there may be some things that come for Christmas for it. You just never know. So that's kind of the gist of it. The plan is to get it painted, but I got to get all the engine and drivetrain all done. While that seems like a pretty long list, actually it isn't really all that daunting. I think we're going to be able to flip it around pretty quick. The piece that is going to be a little trickier is going to be getting it painted. So my plan is to have Colin, see if Colin will paint it. That's the gentleman who painted the red 64 F100. The problem is he's moved shops, and I'm not sure he's up for another project, and I don't know if he is going to even do paint and body work the same way he did it before. So that's kind of an unknown, but if he can't, we'll see if we can find someone else who can put fresh paint on it and make it look like it's supposed to. The truck is going to be killer. It's grabber blue, Wimbledon white. It's going to be dropped. I think the beams are 3-inch drops, and that's going to get it down a little bit. These F100s really need a little bit of help to get them down because of the twin eye beams. So we're going to get it down. We'll put a little more aggressive tire on the back just to complement the lower stance, and it's going to be an awesome project. It's going to be cool. So let's take a look at the truck. All right, here's Shelby's F100. It is a 302 automatic, power steering, power brake, air truck. It came with everything but the air. I put the air in it a little bit later after we got it running. But it came as a 302 automatic power brake truck, which is a bit uncommon for a Sport Custom, but not unheard of. So I gave it a good steam clean a little earlier today. I'm just letting it dry out before I pull it up. We're going to clean it all up. We're going to detail. Shelby's going to get in here and detail the underhood while I'm building the motor for it. And she's going to put in. She hasn't done any sweat equity on this truck for a while, so it's time. It's time to put in the hours. So she's going to get it cleaned up under here and make it look super nice. We are going to do really, you know, when we did, I'm going to let the airplane fly over. The airport has been busy, so the no-fly thing is obviously not impacting us here in Arizona. So, when we did the 30-day truck build of the 55 F100, I really didn't replace anything I didn't absolutely have to. On this truck, it's a much different approach. So when I go in, we're going to freshen up the motor. The motor runs actually quite well, but it just leaks oil. It's got some blow-by, a little bit of blow-by, and it's got a lifter or two that'll pump down. So we're going to freshen it up and give it, you know, a new lease. And while we're here, everything that we touch that doesn't cut the mustard, we're going to replace. So we'll put, you know, a fuel pump, a water pump, all new belts, all new hoses. I'm going to replace the steering box. I'm going to replace all the power steering hoses. I'm going to try to make it so that you can park this truck on somebody's driveway and not be embarrassed. And so that takes a little bit of work and a little bit of effort, and I don't know, I've had a lot of old Fords and probably just a lot of old cars. It's tough to get them to be leak free. I love when people can do it, but if you're using older stuff, this is 70s vintage, right? So yeah, it's 50 years old, and it's just the oil leaking and dripping wasn't quite as big a concern 50 years ago as it is now. Now the new cars, I mean, they don't leak a drop, and well, that's so awesome. But these older ones, it's hard to get them to perform at that level, but we're sure gonna give it a shot. We'll take the radiator in, we'll have the radiator shop give it a once over and see if it's good to go for another little stint. And we'll look at the brakes and all that kind of stuff. We're gonna replace the beams, so I'm gonna have a bunch of the brake parts apart. Anything that doesn't look quite right in that department, it's gonna get replaced. It isn't that I am was looking for a new project to restore. I've got my kid driving it, and I don't want to have any issues with it for a couple reasons. One, I don't want her stranded on the side of the road and maybe put herself in danger. But if I'm already there, and I mean, she's not planning, there's no desire to sell the truck, so there's really no need to cut corners on it at this point. So as we look at the rest of the truck, got a lot of glare, so I'm hoping you can see it. It is a pretty decent looking little short bed truck. It is Sport Custom. I think there was a previous video where I said it was XLT, and I've had a couple of these that were XLTs. It was my mistake. This one is a Sport Custom for sure, and it has truly been put together from lots of different trucks. This particular truck has had, I've replaced both doors, the hood, I think both front fenders. I put a cab top on it, a tailgate. I saved, this is the bed that came on the truck when I got it, but it is not the original bed to the truck. Kind of come around so you can get out of the sun a little bit. What else have I replaced? I mean, you know, it was a $500 total when I bought it. So, you know, we replaced everything. The good thing is that it's a lot. It was a lot easier to find the parts when I was doing it 10 years ago. So that's kind of this truck in a nutshell. The next piece that I'll show will be probably pulling the hood off and getting the motor out of it. And unless I decide to, yeah, that's probably what I'll do. You'll probably see the motor coming out of it next. So we'll probably make some pretty quick progress on it, and you'll start to see stuff come apart. So thanks for joining in. The plan for this one is to do another 30-day truck build. So I'm going to try to do this one in 30 days and get it done. And I'll have just a little bit of help on it, I think. So I'll be able to guilt Shelby into putting in some time on some of the stuff to get it done. And that's how you do it. I'm Clay for Chop Shop Motors, and we'll see you on the next project.